Hey guys, Stanley here with Dandy. Dandy did a video today responding to Antonio. Antonio released a video today, something about the causeway and him saying it's curving. But anyway, Dandy did a quick video and me and him are going to go over it. It's the first time I'm seeing it, so bear with us. And I do have the chat up. And let me present. Well, I guess I should present myself. And then I probably need to unplug my headphones so we can hear this. Or is there any sound, Dandy?
There is no sound, and if there is,
Okay, there's no sound. Great. Great. So, Dandy, is there anything you want to say before we start, or do you want me to start? What do you want to do?
Well, if you want, we can watch the original video. It's only a minute and a half. The one that I'm responding to, just so folks have a frame of reference. Or not.
Do you have a link? Do you have a link to it? Yeah, we can watch it. It's fine. Let's see. Do you have a link in your description somewhere or no?
I do. Oh, no, I don't. Sorry. Here, I'm going to send it to you through the old chat-a-roo. There you
go. Send it to me in the live chat, so
okay.
so that I don't have to swap over to that screen and everybody see your messages. Where are you sending it to me, Dandy?
In the live chat on your YouTube.
My YouTube channel? Or this video?
The video, YouTube live deal. I sent it to Hangouts too.
Okay.
Hangouts chat. So you got it in both.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't want to swap over to Hangouts chat since I'm broadcasting or sharing my screen.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's do this. Let's watch that video first. He doesn't say much in this video either, so I'm not going to play the sound. But basically, he's just...
I'm not seeing your on the screen here.
You're not seeing my screen?
Mm-mm. Not in the Hangout, not in the live Hangout.
And I see why. How about now?
That's better.
So let's play Antonio's video first. It's just some really cheesy background music he always plays. I noticed this earlier today. It looks like the first thing I would say is that he looks like he's using like a, I don't know, whoever did this is using like a 50mm lens or something like that. Doesn't look very zoomed in. You can tell by the distance between the pylons.
You're absolutely right. I don't know exactly what camera he's using, but
yeah, I mean, obviously the focal length's really short. So, I mean, I've already told people you have to really zoom in out there to see the curve, but I think they do this on purpose just to play games.
Well,
I mean, you're not going to see anything at 50mm, or else everybody would see the curve with their eyes.
So here's the money
right here. Yeah. So this is the shot where he says the bridge curves slightly to the left and then to the right.
What is he? I'm just struggling to understand what exactly he's saying. He's saying that bend right in the center of the screen is where the bridge itself is curving and changing direction. Is that right?
Yeah, he's claiming that the bridge is curving. Yeah.
like changing direction, right?
Right. It's not straight. It's turning to the left or turning to the right or something like that.
Okay. I'm just making sure that's what's going on. That's his claim. Okay.
Yeah, this is clean.
All right. Well, you can.
So should we swap over to your video or what?
Sure. Yeah. Let's do that.
All right.
And you can just bring it up and pause it right away.
So it looks like your video starts off where the money shot was on the last one.
That's right. Yep.
Here it is, and I'm paused.
All right. Let's go ahead and play it.
There's no sound, guys, by the way.
Yeah, no sound. Now here's the source video. I'll track that down. This is where the shot is taken.
That's for sure the source video?
100%, yes.
Oh, nice. You need to share that in the description as well so other people can take a look at it?
I definitely will. Okay, so we'll see if we can figure out where this is exactly. So there are some clues. There's a shore over there to the left, number 1. Number 2, up there on the top. You can see there's a diamond shaped sign. Okay.
Okay.
Number 3 and 4.
Crossovers.
And the illuminating traffic signs on that crossover there.
Right.
And then number 5 is the shore. So you can go ahead and pause it right there just for a second. I want to explain something here. So I can tell that we're looking north right here. Okay, so the causeway on the left side is the older bridge. This one was built back in the 50s. And it has exactly 4 piles per section. So when you're looking at these piles here, you're looking at like sets of 2, one beside the other. Okay. Another dead giveaway is the very top. There's a rail at the top of the older bridge. There's not a rail on the top of the new bridge. When I say new, it was like 10 years later, 15 years later.
Gotcha.
And on the new bridge, the sections are like 80-something feet, if I remember right. They're a little bit longer than the older bridge, and they're situated on 3 piles instead of just 2. So there'd be 6 per section instead of 4. That makes sense?
Yep.
Okay, so we are definitely looking north. All right. So number 1 and number 5 in this picture right here, we see shoreline. In the middle, we see the crossover. So I know I'm looking north. I know the shore is close enough to see with a camera that's not zoomed in. So I'm going to go ahead and start from the north so you can go ahead and play the video.
All right.
So here I am in the north shore. First crossover from the north is 3.37 miles. Here it is.
Makes sense.
Okay. This is the first crossover looking north. So I've back down southward. You can see the shoreline. There's the crossover, the 2 signs. Now I'm in the center of the crossover looking north. Still see the shore.
Mm-hmm.
Now center looking south and still in the center of this first crossover.
Right.
Now I'm going to zoom in. You can see, if you look hard enough,
marine hump.
You can see a marine hump.
Yep.
I call the elevated deck. So now we just need to look for that last diamond sign. There it is. All right, now I'm going to situate myself just beyond it and look back the other way. There's the diamond. There's the crossover. There's the shore.
There's the rail.
Yep, the rail. Mm-hmm. So now we're looking from the old bridge down there where I believe he is. There he is.
Right.
Let's look for more clues. Okay, now I'm in the very center of the hump, looking down where he was. Pause that.
I see. Mm-hmm.
Can you make that big?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Well, there we go. You there?
Yep. Just want to take a gander.
Yeah, so you're matching up all these watermarks. Yeah, that makes sense. Yep. That looks like we're definitely in that position.
Yep. If you look at the first
looks like
set,
the same place.
yep, the 3, they're really wide. The one on the far end toward the east is sort of thin. The middle one is really thick, and you can see that one there is slightly thinner. The one right over his shoulder. The very next
Yeah,
one,
that's exactly like
does
it.
look like. The next one is the double. Okay, so that double set of piles there, they're not straight up and down. On the new bridge, they cocked them at an angle on these elevated portions in some areas for
Yeah.
these doubles. Okay, so there you see the doubles
Right.
in his video. Then the next one. All right, so
Yep.
continue. Just hit play and let her go. Low and level deck height. This is the part of the causeway that stretches for miles and miles and miles at the same level. Elevated deck height, right in the center of that marine hump
Yep.
where he was. Now the difference. Watch those
Mhm.
legs bend.
Yep.
Get the idea. All right. So now in his video, this is what it looks like when it's at the lower level. And you can match all these piles up as far as
Yeah. So I mean, it's definitely the North Shore there. That first
Mhm.
crossover from the North Shore. Yeah, I think that's
That's right.
pretty obvious.
And this is his video where this is slightly to the right. He didn't show you this part of the video. I wonder why he'd leave it off. I don't know. So I'm just playing this through for
He was probably
context.
just hunting for something on the internet. Found this guy's video.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Pay attention to the shadows. You probably won't see this in the live stream. You might, but there's shadows just over his shoulder of the cars passing.
There are shadows just over his shoulder of cars passing. Should I back up?
Yes. Yep. It's going to be real. It's really choppy, so you can't really. It's hard to tell. This part you're just going to have to take my word for it and watch my video later.
No, I mean, oh yeah, I saw it. I mean,
Okay.
it's clear for me.
Okay. Yeah.
I saw the shadow of the car.
Yep. So you can tell that this is happening. That's the old bridge that we're looking at. That is on the west side.
Right.
The sun rises in the east. It's really shallow on the horizon because I can see the cameraman's head shadow on his shirt. And I can
Right.
see that the other bridge, the new bridge, is casting its shadow, the deck shadow, where the cars are passing, right there on the side of the old bridge. Does
Okay.
that make sense?
Yep. Yep. I see it. Yep.
Okay, keep going. That's an important part.
You can actually see a car pass in the lane behind him as well, going
Mm-hmm.
to the left.
Okay, so this next part, watch these three piles right here. You will see a car pass. You'll see the shadow
Okay.
of a car pass. This is important. It goes 1, 2, 3. I don't know if you could see it. It's just
Yep. I see it. It's like right here. 1, 2, 3.
yeah. It's actually it starts with the one that's closest to you there. 1, 2, 3. 3 piles down.
Let me see. Let me see if I can step through it slow. Huh, I can't advance like that for some reason. Should be able to advance using other guys.
It'll replay, so keep it going. All right, here it comes.
Yeah, I actually
See it on the
saw it on
pile.
this one. Look, you can actually see it on the very first pile for a second. Briefly see it right here.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Oh, no, watch. See,
Yep.
gone now.
Yep. That's the shadow
There's
of
the
the car.
car.
You can see this in
Yep.
Antonio's video too, by the way. That's where I noticed it the first time.
There's
There
the
it goes
shadow
there.
of the car
Yep.
there. Okay.
Yep, I can see that. And that next one.
Yep,
And there it
there's the
goes.
shadow of the car there. Okay.
Okay, now follow that shadow from this one down, and you see it just begin to curve at the bottom where that bridge begins to curve up. That is the shadow of the elevated portion of that bridge. That shadow doesn't make any sense unless that bridge elevates on the other side to cast its shadow. See the length of the
No,
pile?
I mean I don't think anybody doubts that the bridge elevates, right? I mean, that's obvious right here.
I think that's
But
what
he's,
I don't think
but
he's. I think he's thinking that
he's
this is
claiming, yeah, he's claiming that elevation is a curve, right? That's what you're thinking,
yes.
right? He thinks that where the elevated part hits the level part, that the bridge is curving right there, but it's not. It's just coming down off of an elevated height.
I think he's trying to trick you with the perspective here because it
Well,
appears
he's
to be
definitely,
bent
yeah,
down the bottom.
yeah, he's definitely trying to trick his people. I mean, but I mean, we know the causeway straight. So I mean, anybody that lives here knows the causeway straight.
I don't think he's even trying to. I don't think he's.
Who's he trying to trick? He's trying to
In
trick
my
us.
view, no. In my view, he's not even recognizing that their bridge is elevated right here.
Oh, you think that he just doesn't understand that the bridge is elevated?
I think he might, but I think he left some very key pieces out. Like the part that I just showed you, I let it play all the way through, and you could see how high up the bridge was. He left that part out. He just
Yeah.
he got it to look like the
Well,
appearance
this,
from the
I mean,
scholarship.
this is why everybody thinks they're so dishonest, because they do things like that. You know, it's just some form of gaslighting where they're trying to uh, have people doubt themselves. Essentially, I mean, that's what they're trying to do. But it seems to be like a very uh, I don't see how many people would actually fall for that. I mean, it seems like if you just look at the video that
Well, go read his yeah, but go read the comments on his video.
what do the comments say?
Let's see.
Still there, Dandy?
Mm-hmm. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you now. What about his comments?
Well, they're not coming up because my computer is trying to do too much. But I mean, if you just scroll through them, dude, it's people think it's good. I mean,
I
clearly.
always wonder about that. I always wonder about the people that are actually saying, "Well, good job," blah blah blah. Do you think that those are real people? I mean, I
Uh,
don't think there's that many stupid people, honestly.
I just don't
I'm
think anybody really looked at it hard.
oh, it's
I don't
just
think
put out
anybody
by him,
really.
and so they automatically assume that is proof of flat Earth.
I mean, maybe they looked at it just at first glance, but I mean, I spent some time looking at it, and I just don't, you know, I don't think anybody really like digs deeper. I mean, at the end of his video, it said thanks for thinking, like, but no one's really thinking. They're letting him do the thinking for them.
Right, right. They're just listening to him claim that this is proof that the bridge is curving, and that's it. That's all. That's good enough for them. This is the same people that are like, oh, you believe everything that you've been told in school, blah blah blah, break through the brainwashing, but yet they'll just believe whatever. You just believe whatever they would just believe whatever Antonio or Jaredism or Mark Sargent or any of these guys say. If they say it, they just it's like their holy Bible to them.
Yeah,
It's
I
like
guess they
going to
trust
church.
him. I don't. Yeah, I guess so. They just trust whatever they say. And
Guys are their pastors of their religion. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. That's the way they treat them anyway. They don't actually, you know, the people that are actually falling for it don't actually think for themselves. They just trust whatever their gurus tell them,
yeah,
and which is exactly uh, opposite of what all the gurus say, which is, you know, don't listen to what everybody else tells you. Think for yourself. Look with your own eyes. Well, look with your own eyes. It's obvious that the Earth is a curve or is curved. I mean, that's the truth of it. I don't know. I mean, these guys, some of them seem genuine. I mean, Jaronism, for example, I've been talking with Jaronism, and for some reason, he's decided to finally look at my stuff, and so he's like, "Send me your best stuff," and I'm like, "Well, there really isn't a best stuff. Go look at all of it. It's a bunch of it." And
just tell them look at your thumbnails.
I mean, there's just gobs now. There's just so much video out there, and a bunch of it's good. So like it's like trying to choose between my children, which one I like the best. I don't know.
Well, I did see another comment on that was one that I remember on his on Antonio's video, the one that I'm taking a closer look at right here. Wide Awake, our best friend, he said something. I don't remember what he said exactly. It was something like.
Some people think that he's Anthony as well. Some people think that that's another one of Anthony's sock puppets.
He may be. I think it was him. If it wasn't him, it was somebody who was saying you only take pictures when it's not clear. When the weather.
T-Rant started that, and then everybody kind of just, bought the lie, so to speak.
What? How? Why do they think that? They can just go look at your thumbnails and see.
Well, like I said, one of the gurus says something, or maybe not even a guru in this case, Ranty Rant. One of the team members says something, and they just take it on face value. They don't actually think for themselves or verify. I mean, obviously, I've gone out more than just cloudy days. I mean, the video evidence is there on YouTube, and I have tons more of it off YouTube. Sitting on Google Drive right now, or Google Photos.
What's really
Dandy, because me and you, I mean, I've pretty much shared all my videos with you, so how much of it there is. There's just like
I wouldn't put
overwhelming reams of it.
What you've actually put out, but the stuff that's there versus what you've put out is maybe you might have published 5% of what's there, and it's that there has been nothing in everything that I've seen that looks like fishy, funny, weird. Like I don't see anything there that you were like, oh, that didn't match what I thought that day. And you tell me ahead of time before you go, and you're like, I'm here now, and then later you publish everything you saw. So it's not like you're going, and when you don't get what you want, you don't put it out. Like I've seen it, I know it's there. And
well, in the beginning, I would say that. Well, even now, but in the very beginning when you first met me, you were very skeptical.
I was.
Yeah, you were very skeptical, and I was like, okay, fine. That's fine. Be skeptical. And do it yourself. Go look yourself. Take a camera out there. Go look yourself.
I did.
And then I think it was a couple weeks later you mentioned Little Tens's Bayou, and you said you went out there and you're like, dude, I can see the curve. And I'm like, yeah, you can see the curve.
I brought my telescope out, and that's my one of the shots I think might be the icon that I have right there, my avatar icon. I don't know if that's from the P900 or if that's from my telescope, but yeah, I went out and I sent you that picture in the Hangouts. It wasn't a very good one because it was pretty cloudy that day, but I could see it curving down. I was like, dude, I'm pretty sure I'm seeing what I'm seeing here. And then, that got you out there, and then we met up.
And honestly, I think that's my favorite location now. I know everybody is stuck on the transmission lines because they're dramatic.
Right.
But honestly, my favorite locations are the Causeway, and that's my second favorite, and my first favorite is the Little Tens's Bayou. And the main reason why is because there's so much context in the background on both of those locations.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, especially Little Tens's Bayou. I mean, there's a boat ramp right there. Can't really claim. You can't really. One of the claims that Jarenism likes to say is that its angular resolution is causing the horizon. Well, you can't really claim angular resolution whenever I can see a car on the other side of the horizon.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what's going on at the Little Tens's Bayou boat ramp right there.
I guess I've never heard that argument. Angular resolution. Is that right? What'd you say?
That's what they're claiming is the angular resolution of your eyes, right, or your camera. That's why they say you can zoom in and bring stuff from over the horizon, which people have shown 1,000 times is incorrect. But anyway, let's look at the chat here. I see Soundly a bunch of times. In retrospect, this is Mr. Unite for the Children. In retrospect, we should have all expected the way they're attacking Soundly. There is no way they can refute those photos even by their satanic bullshit. They have to accept what they're seeing, so they have to attack so they don't have to accept what their eyes are seeing. Yeah, that's correct. I mean, that's really what me and Dandy are trying to do. Is just, you know, a photograph is worth 1,000 words, and and a video is worth 1,000 photographs. Is kind of our motto, so to speak. You know, we really want to put the video evidence out there, and the reason why they claim it's fake is because it totally thrashes them, just the video evidence, and we don't even have to say anything. But here's the thing. Here's the great thing about all of our observations is that they're at public locations that anybody can go to and make the same observation. So and here's the thing, how long have we been doing videos now showing this type of curvature? I mean, when was my first video released? It was a long time ago, months and months and months ago now. Where are the, you know, the complimentary hundreds and thousands of photographs and videos from flat earthers? They don't exist. Why is that?
There's like less than 5.
Yeah. Why is it? Why is it that they don't actually go and reproduce my photography? Go get a P900 or even a 300 millimeters, which I had in the first place. Go to the same location, same GPS coordinates, which I've provided, and take the picture. And they're going to see curvature too. And my belief is that they have done that. My belief is that
I believe it too.
In the beginning, I think that Flat Earth New Orleans actually did that, and they realized, holy shit, you do see the curvature, and that's when everything went quiet from Flat Earth New Orleans.
Yep. Same with Johnny Oops. He went once. He was like, "This is the shot I've been trying to get." He got it, and then he was like, "Oh yeah, get ready, guys, more to come. You're gonna see all kind of," and then nothing. Totally quiet.
Right. Yep. So all they're left with is just to group me into this CGI bucket along with the ISS and all the pictures of Earth from Himawari 8. They can't answer any of it, so they just keep touting the propaganda over and over. Like Anthony Riley, you know, he's a masochist. That guy, he just gets thrashed every time he puts out a video and comes back for more. It's amazing.
He wasn't gone for a week.
Right. He's leaving YouTube. He's going to be in the shadows. No one's going to know who he is. He's going to be watching us like the evil Santa Claus. And then a week later, he freaking outs himself on his new channel. Oh my gosh, what an idiot. Anyway.
But every now and then I would hear him say, and I'd be like, "Ah, a glimmer of hope," you know. But and then as soon as you would leave, he would start talking with Ranty, and then he would just talk him back into that nonsense, like convince him again that it was, you know.
Well, I mean, it's a pattern. I mean, it's how many times have you heard Anthony say, yeah, well, I agree, so that's why it proves flat Earth. Like, wait, what? No, if you agree, then it doesn't prove flat Earth. I agree, that's why it proves flat Earth. That's what he does over and over again. It's hilarious.
That dude's a character. Have you heard from Ranty?
I haven't heard from Ranty, no. After we debunked his little, what was the little thing? The buoy, the weather buoy.
Mm-hmm.
After we debunked that, he went away. I don't know what happened to him. He might be out there doing more chemtrail videos for all I know. I haven't paid attention.
I didn't know he was into that. I never pay attention to them guys.
Oh, he put out a video where he claimed that he was staring up to the sun for hours and hours filming chemtrails, and that the chemtrails burnt his face.
Is he white?
It was a sunburn.
Is he a white guy?
Oh yeah,
Of course he is.
yeah. Huh?
Of course he
That's what he
is. He's
said.
out there getting a sunburn.
He claimed that a sunburn is chemtrails. I mean, that's the type of people we're talking about.
Lovely.
Anyway, does anybody have questions or anybody want to come in or anything like that? Suggestions? So, I guess one thing I could say is I have definitely got ever since the eclipse thing with the globe busters, I definitely got a few different flat tards trying to go after me. So the
Just
funny
some of
thing
the
is like
eclipse stuff?
the funny thing is I keep thrashing their asses. What?
Because
Danny?
of the eclipse.
See all the globe busters nonsense with the eclipse stuff?
No, I've been fooling with VP Perth
Mm.
and
Well, Bob from Globebusters basically had me on to discuss my Earthshine, which it wasn't just me. It was me and another guy, which I don't want to say his name because they already know his real name, and I don't want to link those two together. But it was me and another guy. I set up the telescope. He put his camera on there, and he manned the camera because the telescope was drifting really bad. Well, I manned a 6-inch, and I was trying to capture cast grain. I was trying to capture Earthshine with my Canon um, by overexposing, and was just having a hell of a time keeping the sun in frame because I was doing it manually, and it wasn't a. It would have been a whole lot better if I'd have had a equatorial mount, but I didn't. I had a regular tripod.
so you were overexposing during totality.
Right, I was overexposing with my Rebel T5 on a 6-inch cast grain. He was just taking normal shots with the filter off,
Mm-hmm.
and I ended up getting Earthshine with my T5 as well, but it was terrible because I got like half the sun in frame or something like that, or like half the moon in frame.
Right.
So I did get it, but it was just not a good picture, and I kind of left disappointed. And then later, Sean Hufford was looking through the footage, and he took one of the totality shots, and he just cranked up on the exposure and realized he was seeing moon features. And so I took it into GIMP and just really messed around with it in a bunch of different ways, and eventually found out that I could use the levels tool to tweak it even better. And so
Mm-hmm.
I eventually figured out something that takes like 30 seconds to do now, but it took me a while to figure it out the first time. But anyway, so Bob had me on so I could explain to him how I did it. I gave him my original image with the author's name taken out of the metadata because the guy's camera had his name in the metadata. And as far as I was concerned, that was it. It was good. It was a good conversation, I thought, and thought it ended pretty well. And anyway, a little while later, all of a sudden, Mike Helmick and Anthony Riley were talking about how Globebusters was going to out me the next Sunday because they proved that the image had a 72 DPI overlay and there was a Photoshop tag, and there's like all this nonsense. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? And
Was there a Photoshop tag?
no, there's no Photoshop tag. That's the whole thing. Like that, what they didn't know is that I was technically savvy, and so I went and created the SHA codes for these files, which you can create a SHA code for any file, and it's a unique code.
You can create one or like export one that already exists. I don't know what a shell code is.
So basically, it's a one-way hash, and what all it is like you run it through an algorithm that does certain things on the file based on the input of the file, based on the bytes in the file.
Mhm.
It figures out a hash which represents that file. So if you run that same exact file through this algorithm again, you'll get the same exact hash.
Mhm.
That's how you can identify if it's a specific file or not. And that is how a lot of the torrent downloaders work. You know, they give you a shellcode,
Okay.
and whenever you download a file, you run the same algorithm, make sure it's the same shellcode, to make sure you got the same file, and it's not Jeffrey opinion says it's a checksum. That's correct. Most people don't know what a checksum is, Jeffrey. But basically, what you can think of it as, you can think of it as a unique number, kind of like a social security number
Mhm.
for a file. You know, like if you have the same exact file and you run it and you run this algorithm on it, then you'll get the same exact. Yes, a fingerprint there. That's good. Andrew Eddy said it's a fingerprint. Yes, exactly. It's a fingerprint for a file. So if you have that file and you run that algorithm, then you're going to get the same exact code that I got on my computer.
Okay, so you're not like, I think I mistook what you said by create. That's why I was trying to say like
Generate should be the word I use.
yeah, generate or export. Yeah,
Right.
I was saying. Yep. Okay,
So
so
anyway,
you generated the fingerprint for the file, and it matched uh, something that
right,
wasn't photoshopped. I'm assuming.
right. So what ended up? So this is what ended up happening. So here's the.
Was there a photoshopped photo that they had?
Well, let me finish the story, and you'll see.
Okay. Sorry.
So I left the Eclipse with a copy of the original files, the ones that the camera owner gave me before I left. Before I got that copy, he uploaded that to a shared Google Drive folder. So there was basically, at that point, 3 sets of original files, one on the Google Drive folder, one on his flash card, and one on my flash card. So whenever I went home, I obviously backed up those photos, and I had them on my drive. And so whenever Sean said that he got the Earthshine, I went to my physical drive. I didn't go back to the Google Drive. I went to my physical drive, and I at those files, the original files that had the original metadata on them. And sure enough, there was the Earthshine. So before I shared that, right, I asked someone else to remove the metadata. They did. They removed not all the metadata, but they removed the author's name. And I sent that file to Globebusters. So basically, there's a file sent to Globebusters. There's the original file, and then there is another file which Sean created, because Sean created an archive of all the totality shots to share with other people that had the metadata removed. So there's basically 3 files. One I sent to Globebusters, the original, and the one that Sean generated, that are all identical as far as the actual pixels of the image. They're all identical. And so we took those, we identified those files by their shellcodes. We found the fingerprint for those shellcodes. And so whenever all this talk about Photoshop came out, we said, okay, here's our original files. Here's the shellcodes. You tell me what shellcode you get on your file. Because if it's not one of these 3, it's not our picture.
Yeah.
Shellcode. Because what happened was, I'm not quite sure who did it, Bob or Mike Helmick, one of those 3, created a file that had a Photoshop tag on it. And the reason I know that is because it's been independently verified by someone they know that there was talk of a file with a Photoshop tag. And they mentioned a number of times that Globebuster gave them a file with a Photoshop tag in it. In comments, in comment threads on videos. And then I talked to Globebusters and said, what is this I hear about you spreading rumors that there's a fake file or whatever? And of course he starts calling me a fraud and all that. And then he admitted to creating a number of phony photos himself
Okay, yeah,
And
I
I'm
think
like,
I
well,
saw that video.
I'm okay. Well, here you go. I mean, he just admitted that he created phony photos. Mike Helmick and Anthony Riley are saying there are phony photos, and then somebody else verified that there was talk of a Photoshop tag. So I'm like, okay, where's the file with the Photoshop tag? Give me that file. I still don't have it to this day. So all they did was make a bunch of baseless accusations. And as soon as I freaking thrashed their asses and told them about Shawcos, they freaking shat their pants and ran away. So, that's what we're dealing with, just more dishonest flat earth nonsense. So
Yeah.
that's the whole background to that.
Yeah, it's like if somebody says enough times and loud enough in the comments of a YouTube video that soundly has been proven to be a fraud, it's like I'll see other people saying it too. I'm like,
Right.
when
They'll
exactly
say it,
was
but
this proven?
they'll say it, but they never have the firsthand knowledge of anything like that because they just believe what their gurus say. And that's it. They lie, and then their gurus lie, and then their minions just trust they're telling them the truth and believe it. It really is like a pastor, I mean, that's how they act. The pastor says X, Y, and Z, and all of his flock just fall in line. They don't ever think for themselves. It's really amazing. It is a religious mentality, which is very bizarre.
I know, because they keep telling you to wake up and think for yourself, and
No, they tell you to trust your senses.
well, yeah, I know, but we do, and then when we do, they tell us not to. That's an optical illusion.
Exactly. Trust your senses unless it completely thrashes flat Earth, which it does always. All right. Comment section.
Did you
Gareth
see?
Milton. See you later, man. 4 a.m. Dude, go to sleep. What's going on? Blah, blah, blah. Factard, have you seen Anthony's latest video? I don't know. Is it the Knight Rider one? Somebody made a spoof of it, and that's why I ended up seeing it. It was R&D. Rhetoric and Discourse made a spoof of it, put it to SpongeBob. It was hilarious. Is the Photoshop fraud anywhere to be found? Kelly, I've asked him for the photo. I've asked him for the file that actually contains the Photoshop tag in it, which is what they claim, and which has been told to me by 3 different people now that there was a file that had a Photoshop tag in it. I've asked them to provide that to me, and not a single one of them has given it to us, nor have they generated the shellcode for it and told us what it is. But, the reason they haven't done that is because it's not our file. That's all there is to it. If it was our file, obviously they would be making a big deal about it, but they're not. So,
Yeah, well, PP Pert asked for it too in the comments. I noticed it had been like 6 days and nobody had responded to him.
they're not going to hand out that file because one of them was trying to fool the other ones into thinking that was my file, and make a big stink about it. And if I had to speculate, I'd say it was Anthony Riley because he's for some reason just butthurt over me, and he just he really is like a stalker. It's weird. He's bizarre. He basically just keeps coming back for more thrashings.
Yeah,
every time he makes a video.
He got really upset when I said that he was obsessed with you.
Well,
that was how he started his video, was with me saying that he's like obsessed with you. And then he like paused the hangout video that he was listening to where I said that, and then like, I'm not obsessed with Sally. Let me just show you the names of all my videos, and like the last 12 are like something about Sally.
Last one I was like, let me guess, it was the Numb Titty. Numb Titty, then Ranty Rant, and then No Parallax Birds, CGI Birds, Electrolysis. Oh my God. That guy has just made a fool of himself. It's amazing.
The electrolysis thing was just like
Kelly White says, Anthony or Mike, I could see either one doing it. You know what's really bizarre is that Mike really, honestly, really believe that Mike thinks that he's a good Christian person and that he's ethical and that he's moral. Like the furthest thing from that. It's like the opposite. Does anybody want to come in? Anybody want to talk about other stuff before we hang up this thing?
who's your favorite these days? Flat Earther.
My favorite flat earther.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Globebusters is under my target right now, so if they say any more nonsense, I'll just keep thrashing them. I mean, it's amazing to me that they can get away with creating phony photos admitted to me, and people still watch their show. It's like, what? Obviously unethical.
Who is Antonio? Where did he come from? I've never heard of this person.
Oh, he's been around. He's always on different people's hangouts and stuff. He's one of the medium players, you know. He's one of the B-level players.
Observations on Pontchartrain before now?
I don't know. Maybe. I have no idea. Nathan, I was actually going to ask you to come in and read the or keep up with the chat for me, but then I felt bad because the last time I kept you up till like 4 o'clock in the morning. But if you're awake, I'll be happy to send you a link, Nathan.
Come on in.
Hold on.
You didn't miss much. We're just bullshit.
What just happened? Huh? All right. Sharing for a second. Let me invite Nathan in. See if he really does want to come in. But why doesn't Nathan pop? I don't ever understand this. He doesn't pop up whenever I do the invite thing in the Hangout itself. Like I have to go send him the link manually. I don't understand how that works. Maybe it's maybe I have to go follow him or something. I don't know. Let me shoot him a link this way. I don't want to go to his profile. I mean, I must have to follow him or something on G Plus or I don't know how it works. Anyway, I just sent him a link directly. Hey, so I'm prepping for the equinox, and built a decent little rig. It shows the elevation. I have my P900 mounted to it. Shows the elevation, angle. I'm trying to figure out how to get the bearing though. Like, I don't know how to get that all in one video. Do you have any ideas on that? I mean, I was thinking about maybe putting a
virtually.
Do what?
Virtually.
Well, Wolfie made it sound like he wants everything in one shot, so you know, I want to try and follow the rules as much as possible. I might not get it perfect, but I was thinking about putting like some stakes out there and doing like a wide angle shot. And but I'm not sure if tracking the sun with my P900 at a wide angle is a smart thing to do, or if it'll just fry my sensor.
I don't think so. If you expose for the sun properly, you shouldn't have any problems. I mean, those things can take.
Oh,
Some,
no.
I don't think it's gonna be a problem. I mean, when you're shooting the sun,
Hello. Is this thing on?
really.
Hey, Nathan. We hear you.
Yeah, get there.
Oh no, that's a bit. My wires are loose. Can you hear me?
Yes,
It's
we
really
can hear you. There's some
choppy,
static
yeah.
in the line, but we can hear you.
Yeah, I was probably about to go to bed actually, and I just saw this. You know, I'll end up gaming late.
Well,
The
last time I had you on, Nathan, it was like 4 o'clock in the morning before you went to bed. So I was like, I'm not going to bother him. So that's the only reason I didn't send you to.
I'm often up that late unless I've got parents to go and look after the next day. What was I going to say? Well, I was hoping we were going to have another hangout with Jesse sometime.
Yeah, we need to do that. I've actually been thinking about that. I need to plan something with Jesse.
Details.
And
It's Dandy in at the moment, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes, it is. Hi, Dandy. You're supposed to be doing a presentation of all your wonderful photographs and everything, aren't you?
Yes.
Good. I'm just here to say, where is my entertainment? Make videos for me.
I know. Assembly has been. He's like, hey man, when's that happening?
When are you going to put something out, Danny?
Because you've got some really nice photographs. And that one of Soundly, I'm not sure whether I should give away too much, but that demonstrates his commitment to the whole.
Yeah.
I know exactly which one you're talking about.
Definitely needs to be publicized.
I've just been waiting for that to come out and me just get clowned by Dandy. I've just been waiting for that. So look, let me tell you. Whenever we went out that day, I knew that Pontchartrain was shallow, right? But I didn't realize just how shallow it was, how far out. And I was walking like up to my knees, Dandy, like what,
Half a
like
mile.
400 or 500 feet out, you know, like 400 or 500 feet out into the water, and I'm still like only up to my knees.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and Dandy's like, hey, why don't you jump into the kayak? Because we were going out to the Anthony Riley Camp Parallax Tower.
Yeah.
And so I jumped into the kayak and just rode, and Dandy's paddling, and we get there, and then in my mind I'm thinking the water's still up to my knees. And so I just stepped out of the kayak and went straight down. It was hilarious.
Oh my god!
I come up and all I can hear is like Dandy belly laughing.
I think by then,
isn't it very boggy underfoot? You know, the ground.
It's all silt. It's just kind of muddy.
You're not in danger of sinking into that.
No. I mean, it's soft. I mean, it's soft, but I mean, if you're in the water, you're floating, so not really gonna sink into it. And I mean, the water itself is really not that bad. It's actually pretty clear once you get out a little ways. As long as you're not mixing up the silt off the bottom, it's fine. The water's pretty clear.
Chat.
Jesse's here?
Jesse is in chat.
Hey, there's Jesse. You want to jump in here?
Nathan, can you jiggle your wire some? Because it's like something's going on with that thing.
I'll send Jesse. Yeah, I'll send Jesse a hangout link just in case he wants to jump in. But we were thinking about just talking about the Antonio stuff and then bailing. But I'm up for whatever if people want to chat.
Did you see? Oh yeah. Did you see VP's laser video he just put out?
You linked me to it, and I started watching it, and somehow I got distracted.
I didn't
Not sure
see
what
it
happened,
yet.
but I didn't watch all of it.
Yeah, I had it muted at work, and it was
He was trying to take, yeah, he's trying to take a 5-watt laser and see if he could see it from 6.9 kilometers. I think he said.
okay. So what's that? Like
Um,
3.5, 4 miles?
uh, yes, yeah. 8K is about 5 miles. So yeah, that's right. Um,
And he could see it. I saw
anyway,
it. He had a he said the best shine.
well, yeah, the thing is that, yeah, you're going to see, yeah, you'll see the laser. Just like I'll see a light. I mean, you could turn a light bulb on and I can see it from 6 miles
Yeah,
away.
yeah, my
Like your
headlight.
car. Like you drove up in your car that one time we went out
Mhm.
to Little Census Bayou, shined your lights on the pylons, and I could see you, fine. Seeing it is not the problem. What everybody wants to do with these lasers, what they all have in their mind is that there's this really thin beam that's going to travel for an infinite amount of distance, which is absurd. I mean, it's not going to do that. And if you look at the lasers, even the powerful lasers that me and you were looking at, Dandy, the what was it, the 30-watt? There was a 30-watt laser, and
No,
even
50 watt.
50-watt,
Yeah.
50-watt laser. And even the 50-watt laser at 7 miles ended up being like, what was it, 30 meters wide?
Yes, 30
Something
meters
like
wide.
that.
Yeah, the divergence.
So, I mean, it's just completely impractical to think that a laser is going to stay focused for 7 miles. That's one of the things that we keep running into, is that I don't think these guys really have a sense for how far observations are. Like, just what is 7 miles? What is 16 miles? Or what is 24 miles in the case of the Marriott, from the North Shore? How far away is that? I mean, it's a long way.
It's a long way.
Like, they don't understand that. Like, even driving 60 miles per hour, it takes you 24 minutes to get across the causeway at 60 miles an hour. And yet they look at that and they think it's right there. So it's not right there, dude. It's a long way away.
Yeah. I'm looking out
I
there.
don't understand. I really don't understand the laser test. I mean, I think on paper it makes sense and it'd be fun to do, but
It's a beautiful test on paper.
and I think maybe what could happen, and probably should happen, if the beam still has enough, I guess, luminance once it gets over there to 7 miles. Let's say it was 30 meters, Well, shouldn't there be a 30-meter shadow cast by the horizon from the other side? I would think so.
Well, I don't know. Let me think about it, because I mean, you know how I do with this kind of shit, dude. It takes me a week to work this shit out.
Well, you know how when you go to the bottom of the levee, right? When you go to the bottom of the levee, um, the whole boat ramp is obstructed, right?
Right.
Like your last picture of that you took,
Yeah.
what was
The
it,
other day.
2 weeks ago, right? Where you're like at the water level, you can't even see the boat ramp.
You're talking about the one that I just took this last weekend.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
So if you and put it down there, then shouldn't it cast a shadow? That's what I'm saying.
Okay, let me think about
Right?
it.
So like
Your
the
horizon,
bottom of the boat ramp would be in shadow, and the top of the boat ramp would be lit up green or something, or whatever the laser color is.
if the horizon is like 2.7 miles or 3 miles, is it 3 miles? No, it's not. It's like 2.7, right? If you're
It's really
above the water.
close. It's like 1.5. We're like right above the water right there.
Okay,
It's really
so
close.
okay, so if you're at that level shooting the laser, I don't know. I would have to do this in real life. That's what I usually do. I just do it in real life, like in some weird scale, and work it out. Like the other day, I was looking behind my computer monitor at a wall that was 50 feet away, and I'm moving my head 1 millimeter down. Not even enough to see, just ever so slightly. And from 50 feet away, I was like, that was probably a foot, but I'm only moving my head 1 millimeter down. You know what I mean? So they're always talking about these. It's like, you do this shit all the time.
Oh, Jesse said he's got to get up very early in the morning, so he can't join us.
Okay.
Oh, Jesse's old.
Facthard asked, "Is it fresh water?" I think it's fresh water. I think he's talking about the Little
It's an estuary. Oh, Little Pence's?
Yeah,
no, that's fresh water.
Is it fresh? It's not brackish right there. Yeah.
No,
so
Pontchartrain is brackish. That's
Pontchartrain. Yeah. Pontchartrain's brackish.
That's not. It's not even a lake, by the way. Pontchartrain's not a lake. They call it a lake.
It's a lake. Whatever. It's a lake. An estuary is a type of lake.
Well, it hasn't. I mean, it has tides. It has
an estuary is part of a river, not a lake.
It's connected to the ocean.
Yeah, it's like if there's actually rivers that flow through it, and then it goes through that into the ocean. But basically, it's a depression lake. Is essentially what it is. I mean, that's what caused it back in the day.
I'd like to know what caused that freezing cold water. Like, I was at Fountain Blue, which it was freezing cold. It was a hot day.
That was fresh. That was fresh water. That cold water was fresh water coming into. You're talking about that coming into Pontchartrain that day?
From the south, though.
When we ran into the tide problem?
From Flat Earth End 2. Yeah. That cold water. Nathan, we were walking in hot water.
Factard, yes, it's a mix of salt and fresh water. Fresh water coming into salt water.
We were.
Sorry, the water in the lake was warm, you're saying?
Yeah, very hot. So we took, several thousand steps, all hot water. We get back to where we set up underneath Flat Earth's End, right there where Soundly takes all of his photographs from on top of Interstate 10. We're down beneath it in the water. We literally took one step forward, and it was freezing cold water, probably a 20-degree difference in the temperature of water in one step. It was the most bizarre thing.
Coming out of a little river right there.
Yeah.
You're coming out of a river.
Well, it was a little...
It's a stream.
Canal.
Something feeding into the lake.
I mean, I would consider it like a creek.
Wow. I mean, where would that be?
Yeah, it's some type of creek. It was bringing in cold, fresh water. It was very bizarre.
Yeah.
Did you
I wonder where it comes from, but whether it's kept cooler, like in the shade of the swamp? I mean, you haven't got any hills or like mountains in that area, have you? Which would be
so flat.
Yeah.
Louisiana is.
When we say cold, we don't actually mean cold. We mean warm for everybody else.
Right. Fine. Okay, not like refrigerated.
No, not refrigerated.
Mr. Exaggeration.
It was probably 70 degrees.
It was cold. It was cold compared to
a notable difference. Yeah.
70's cold. What's 70 in Celsius?
God, I'm so bad with temperatures.
Yeah, don't ask me that question either. Like, I don't know. Let's ask Google.
I'm gonna do it. 70 F to C. Okay, so 21 degrees.
21. So nice temperature.
Yeah.
Have you sorted out your Patreon yet, Soundly?
I mean, I opened it up, and there's like you and 2 other people that have donated or that are signed up or whatever. But I think I have to actually like pull the trigger and charge you or something. I don't know.
Yeah, because it was set for like $20, and I gave you that for 2 months, and then I dropped it down to $5 because I didn't think you were quite worth $20 every month. But you haven't taken any of it.
I know. I haven't taken any. I know.
No, right.
Well, I think I have to actually put out a video and say that this should charge my Patreons for them to actually even, and I just haven't done that because they're just. I mean, I guess I should, but I kind of felt like I should have, something, because I put in my goals, right, to get a telescope, and I wanted to get a different camera and stuff like that. But unless I have enough to do that, then like, what am I taking the money for? It's like I feel like I'm.
Most people do it to sort of contribute to the show. They give you X amount a month for you to put out. Shows during that month. I say shows, you know what I mean?
Since you insist.
I mean, I give you the money, you'll make me videos of pylons.
Exactly. That's probably why you dropped down from $20 to $5, just because I started making videos of other stuff besides pylons.
Yeah, that's right.
You wanted pylons. I want more leg punch train pylons.
Hey, you know what?
Well, Causeway's good as well. I'm not,
If we lived right there, I live 20 minutes away from the Atchafalaya Basin or the Little Tensas Bayou, but it's a hop, skip, and a jump to get over there to Pontchartrain. I mean, I left at 2:00 in the morning and got over there at 4:15.
Yeah.
That's a 2 hour.
But it was worth it. But it was worth it, Dandy. I mean,
dude, I had a blast. I'm not complaining at all. I had a blast.
Mr. Unite for the children. More
but look, like I told the people that I showed the pictures to, we had to work for what we got. That's what I like. It was a photography day, and most people would think, oh man, Dandy and Soundly spent the whole day together, like doing all this, this, that, and the other. Man, we might have said, 100 total words to each other. Like, he was doing his stuff, I was doing mine.
Yeah.
We were just.
That's manly company. That is 2 blokes hanging out, don't say anything to each other for most of the day. That's the best of friendships.
Absolutely.
I guess so, man. It was a good deal.
We went out. What time we started rowing? 5? About 5?
Yeah, 5:00.
So like 5:00 we started rowing, and let me tell you, it was perfect. It was Venus. It was
the moon and Venus.
You got some really nice nature shots as well while you were out. So I
wish we'd been set up.
Which one's good content for your channel, man?
What'd you say? It was awkward content for my channel.
Well, I thought the dragonfly and the whatever it was, heron type bird thing, they were very nice.
Yeah.
I was corrected. It was it's called an
Achawindi, an Achawanga, an Angawangi.
I forgot the name of it already. But there's another name for the bird, which I learned having made the video.
I know you looked, because I see you in the comments. You see, like, Soundly, he does the towers, the power lines. He does the bridge, right? Then he does a dragonfly, and then he does a bird and some turtles, and he gets accused of like CGI of the turtles.
I keep waiting for Pixar to call.
I just think you can't take a picture of a fucking bug without getting accused of being like that's fake.
That was actually partly why I did those videos. One, I just like taking photographs. I mean, I'm an amateur photographer. I like doing that. It's fun. That's really kind of why I did it, because I like taking pictures. So I take these pictures and I share it with everybody else, because not many people actually get a chance to see, Louisiana wildlife and what's right here in my backyard. So, I share it with everybody, and then the next thing I know, I have this wide awake clown in the comments accusing me of faking wildlife footage. Like, oh my god, what?
Yeah.
He just says everything's fake.
Well, yeah.
Once
I'm
he started
sure
doing
he's
that, I
right.
was like,
Sorry?
go ahead.
No,
I said once he started doing that, I was pretty much convinced that he was just a Poe. Like he's not real.
I don't know with him. He varies in sort of attitude.
Yeah.
It's quite weird. Sometimes he says almost like full sentences. Otherwise, it's just fake, ha ha ha, fake, or something along that line. I don't know. Weirdo. They're all nutters, mate. None of them are reasonable people.
I have a really hard time believing that the stupidity that we see is real. Like it can't be real.
It is.
Yeah, maybe I'm wrong, but
I wish
I
Wolfie
feel like
would.
I feel like I can't even put myself in their shoes to understand how some people can be so dumb.
Bonkers.
Because it's not like an education thing. It's like a common sense thing. Like how do you respond to some of the stuff? What's a Poe? I never heard of one. I am Rick.
Oh yeah.
Poe's Law. Poe's Law. I don't know. I picked it up from.
Poe is? How can you not know what a Poe is? I'm sure he's been one many times.
Yes, I am Rick. You actually play the Poe very well. Whenever you start playing like a flat earther, that's a Poe. Whenever you start,
Poe is.
it's when what's the quote? Oh God, there's a quote that the reason is Poe's Law. Yeah, look up Poe's Law. That's the best way to do it.
Hey, pull up. Can you check your messages, Sally?
Yeah, I'm not sharing anymore.
On Hangouts. I wanted to show Nathan that picture that I sent, that I did last weekend. It was the only decent one that I took the whole weekend. Man,
wait, what are you talking about?
Oh, Hangouts.
Which one?
There's a picture I just sent.
Oh, you're talking about your
my long exposure.
Your giant.
I can't see anything.
Your giant picture.
Mm-hmm.
I can't see any pictures.
Nathan wants piles.
Oh, okay. You just share it with me. Okay. Yeah. Here. Nathan will like these pylons. Yeah. Hold on.
Can I see nothing?
What's that?
Where is it? Where's this picture?
Pull it up. I'm just trying to rearrange my
windows.
windows.
Right. Sorry, I thought it was meant to be appearing somewhere.
Oh, I thought he was. Yeah, are you going to share it on the screen? You can share it on the screen. Now.
Yeah, I'll share it. I'm just trying to think so I don't share too much.
People my picture. Dude, like I don't take a shitload of. I take a lot of pictures, but I never like upload.
Yes, Jared, that is the dude in my avatar. Sorry.
Yeah, that's a pretty cool picture. Can you see it now?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you,
yeah.
Sal.
We went out to. Yeah, we went out to Little Texas Bayou like before sunrise to try and set up some lights and take some pictures of obstruction based on the lights. And this heavy-duty fog rolled in and totally blew up our morning. But Dandy's standing in front of one of the lights right there, and it cast his shadow into the.
Oh, crikey! It is. I was about to say that looks like some haunting spectre there, and it's real. It's not just like cloud or something.
Right.
Cool.
That's the moon up there.
That's the moon, right? What? And the reason why the light is so blue?
It's not exactly that blue. I just did like a what's called a split tone in Lightroom. So this has been edited in Lightroom. So it's The shadow's there, the light is there, the detail is there. The only thing that I did to this photo was do a split tone.
And there's no additional light source there, or is there, like behind you?
Okay, you see the light
Yeah,
down
there's.
there at the bottom of the boat ramp on the left-hand side?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, left on the bottom.
There's a light
There's
exactly
another
like
one just
that
like that.
just behind me.
Yeah.
And I'm in front of the light, and there's a wall of fog coming at me.
Yeah.
And that's why the shadow is up there in the sky, because it's all the light's reflecting off the moisture particles.
Yeah, that's excellent.
Yeah, so that's what we've been trying to do is get some haven't had too much luck with it with the lights at night. I don't know why, but we just haven't things haven't lined up right for us whenever we go do it. But we're going to eventually get this whole boat ramp lit up with lights, and we're going to do a night shot um, from the opposite side, long exposure, so we can actually see the obstruction clearer. I think it's going to be it's going to provide more contrast for us at night, so we can see very clearly like where the horizon is and where the reflection, the mirage reflection that everybody likes to talk about, if there is any, where it is, it'll be pretty clear to see. I think. Maybe. I don't know. We're experimenting before Jesse gets here because trying to figure out how to set up a couple good experiments for him.
Cool.
That boat, Dandy.
Yeah, that's a really nice picture, Dandy. Nice. You showed me a couple of others from that day as well. It's not the only decent picture you took.
From this day?
Um,
Probably another day.
Maybe it was another day. Yes. Okay. Yeah. No. Because that wouldn't have been the same day you were in the lake, was it? They're very.
No. This is like just last weekend.
Okay.
This one right here is just last weekend, right here.
Oh, right. So you were out there again.
Yeah, we go out there every once in a while. Whenever we think the weather's starting to clear up, because.
But you went out there last week. But
well, Dandy went out there because he lives right down the road from it.
Oh, you didn't go out?
No.
This
is about. I mean, this location's not far from me. It's like 45. Well, I'll say 4. It's more
I
like
thought it was
50
about 80
minutes.
miles further on, isn't it?
It's not 80 miles. It's 80 miles from Pontchartrain, but not from my house.
Not from you. All right, you're not in New Orleans then.
Right. I actually live closer to the North Shore.
Okay. Yeah.
Of Pontchartrain. Yeah.
Oh, sure.
And that's his.
Adjust my mental image of your life then.
I'm about. I can make it to the causeway on the North Shore in about 45 minutes. And then I can make it to New Orleans in about an hour 15. I mean, it's not far. It's just not close. It's not something I can do every day. But this is something that Dandy can do almost every day because it is right down the road from him. So we've been waiting on the fall to roll in. With Louisiana, there's no there's no seasons. It's like summer, fall, summer, fall, summer, fall, summer. Supposed to be fall. Like that's how the temperature goes. And so you have to catch it like at the right time, like when a cold front rolls in. Whenever we get to the fall, winter, then we'll probably have a lot of good days.
Dandy seems to have been DOS. He says he can't hear anything.
He's what?
He's talking in chat. I don't hear anything anymore, says Dandy.
We're I guess try and reload, Dandy. Drop out and come back in. So we had a cold front, not a cold front, but I would say it cooled down nicely a couple weekends ago. And I had other things going on, other obligations and family stuff going on, so I couldn't go take pictures, even though that would have been the perfect weekend to go. So it's gotten hot again, and I guess what we've noticed, or at least what I've noticed, my opinion is that the biggest factor for us is the dew point. When the dew point and the temperature are really close, that's when we get most of the haze, and that happens a lot right now. So we need to get to a point where it's cold and the dew point and the temperature have a nice little gap in them. And once that day happens, we'll probably get some shots with zero mirage and like perfectly clear with no turbulence. That's what I'm expecting to happen anyway. And it should be happening too. So that's what we've been looking forward to. And that's why Jesse's coming out in October, because we think that's going to be true whenever he comes out too. So we're hoping it'll be true, because if Jesse comes out and we end up having a day like we had last weekend, that would be miserable, because it wouldn't be much we could do, since I couldn't even see 2 miles that day. Couldn't even see a mile. Yeah, it was bad.
It gets that
well, when the fog rolls in, it's bad. Yeah, can't see. That's what happened to us. Well, Dandy's having issues connecting, obviously. Okay, well,
yes, I agree with that sentiment too.
Yeah, I think it's time. I am Rick. I built a rig for the Equinox, so yes, I'll be Equinox. I'm trying to meet the challenge that Wolfie put out. I'm not sure if I'll be able to or not, but I'm gonna try. So we'll see.
It's a pretty sweet deal.
There he is.
What did I miss?
Us yawning.
I was talking, I don't even know how for long. And then I realized no one was like saying anything.
Listening to you. Oh. I'm Rick says he's seen a similar photo to your transmission lines, except it was a wind farm, or a photo doing a similar job to your transmission lines.
Yeah, I love that shot. I don't know where it's from. I know exactly what he's talking about. There's
it does ring a bell. It would be nice
on the water.
It would be nice to be able to collect together some similar pictures.
Well, yeah, I mean,
when people say, "Oh, how is it the Earth's only curved in Louisiana?" we can show them at least one or two other pictures of the similar effect from other places in the world.
Yeah, there's other locations in the world where there are causeways, like the 7 Mile Bridge in Florida is one of the places. But in order to find, what you need is, I mean, the Little Texas Bayou, I keep going back to that. It's basically the prototype. I mean, if you have 7 miles of straight level causeway, that's gotta be even more than just here. So that's all you need. If you have that, you can take this shot. And
you don't need
it's got to be. Yeah, you don't really.
Okay,
it's really 4
flat
miles.
Earth thin 2. Flat Earth thin 2. That's
true. Yeah, that's true. If you get really close to the water, you can see it.
You can see some, like from that location, that underneath the bridge shot. We couldn't see it from in between the bridges,
like we do with Little Texas Bayou, but underneath the bridge,
Right.
you can definitely tell. You can use that water line, and we're a good ways back too, so we're not. Excuse me. Either way, especially in your shots. Now, I thought I had some pretty good ones right there, but I mean, you're shooting with that P900. I just can't compete. I had a, what, 300 millimeter? No,
Yeah, but-
250. I had a 250.
You got to
That's what I
win
was shooting
Wolfie's
with.
Equinox challenge.
Hey, Red Frederick is here. You want to jump in here, Red?
Hey, Nathan, are you going for it?
Oh no, mate, I'm no. I'd never get my act together in time, and what would I do with the P900? It'd be absolutely wasted on me.
Man, I could sure use one, but I don't have any way to do what he's asking. I can do some of it, but I can't get a sunrise or sunset from my location. I have to drive a good ways to do it.
Really? Oh.
Yeah, there's no good place for me to do this. Like within arm's distance. I mean, I have kids and a wife. I have to,
Yeah. Sure, I get you.
drop kids off, pick them up, that kind of thing. So I can't.
Too bad it's not on Saturday, right?
That's exactly my point.
It's on
If
a
it was on
work week,
Saturday,
yeah.
didn't have the kids,
Oh,
I could
Red's
easily do this.
Red's asking about meeting up. Soundly, he wants to come and join you for the same
Red.
observation.
You tell me when you're available, man. I know you're in Florida picking up your roof and stuff because the hurricane just rained over.
Bring
Wait,
your
Oh, he
big
wants
Red?
to jump in here. Let me get Red a link in Hangouts. Hold on 1 second.
Who's Red?
What causeway was Antonio showing then?
Red Rhetoric, he's a well-known debunker.
Oh, Nathan, you haven't even watched the video.
Well, Antonio's. Yeah, I watched it.
Antonio.
What causeway is that?
That's the Lake Pontchartrain Causeway.
It is, but it's
Yes.
not at the same location.
No, it's on the north side.
He's way further along from where you, because you can't see any marine hump in his video, can you?
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
whose?
of course.
Wait, whose video are you talking about?
Antonio's.
Well, he's like in the middle of the marine hump.
Right.
So he's got like a, I don't know, whoever's video this is, it's like obviously like a camera phone. So you're, what?
Is it?
18 millimeter.
Right.
No,
Like
it's not a camera phone. It's probably a video camera. It's definitely not a camera phone. It's a video camera.
It's like a 35 millimeter max 50 millimeter lens. I mean, you're talking about like a normal, regular, everyday lens.
Right.
Yeah,
It's probably a video camera. It's probably just like an off the shelf video.
I just don't remember seeing the marine hump in his video.
He's standing in the middle of it.
Right.
You'll
see from my.
Hold on.
From my video.
That's really what this hangout was about originally. Because we were talking about that video. But let me share my screen real quick and I'll show you.
Yeah.
Just restart it, Soundly, huh? You don't even need to
restart your video.
Anything. Just restart my video. Let him watch it. It's only 5 minutes long.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay.
Can you
it's
stop
actually
it?
less because the last 2 minutes are just letting the real video like play through.
I've like lost the hangout again. I hate it when I do this.
Oh yeah, dear, oh dear.
How the heck do I get back to? Here it is. Jeez. All right, share, present to everybody. Here. And here's the video right here. I mean,
and whose video is it?
And Antonio, what's his name? Supercats. Whatever.
Yeah, but he's not.
We call them sewer rats.
Subby rats.
I just know him as the 4th place position holder for last year's Dumb Fuck of the Year.
Oh, you're not presenting. Sound like there you
go. Anyway, this is it right here. This is Dandy just basically broke down Antonio's video today. But yeah, he's in the middle of this is a marine hump right here. That's what this bridge is doing. It's going up.
Right, so it's coming down from the hump there.
Yeah, this is coming down.
He's on the north end of the hump. Right, okay.
Yeah, he's looking north, right? Whoever's video this is.
We are looking at a very short stretch of the causeway, really, then.
Yeah, this
compared to what you usually show.
Yeah. This crossover right here, for example, I think is 3 miles from the shore, something like that.
3.4.
How far is it?
How far would it be from the camera?
From the camera?
Maybe a mile.
A mile.
I don't know.
Hold on.
Yeah, not very far.
I can tell you. Hold on. Can you lock it on your screen? Because whoever talks, it's going to theirs.
You can also do that yourself by just clicking on Soundly's little icon on the bottom, and it will white box it, so that only so only you can see a screen.
This isn't presenting.
Yeah, but you have to present to everybody.
It's coming out on the YouTube page, all right.
I'm not doing that. Present to everyone. Present to everyone. There we go.
Maybe it is. I was just for the sake of him watching it because it's not.
Red, when are you going to come out, man? You tell me when you can come, and we'll make it happen.
Well, this is basically what I'm thinking, because my work is essentially a piece of shit. You already know this. So my days off are kind of weird. So my days off are like Tuesdays and Wednesdays. So what I was thinking of doing is, when I get off on Monday, I would just hop in the car and just start driving the 9 hours to wherever the hell you live, and then spend the night there, and then drive back the next day after I get all my observations. Because the flat earther camera of choice, the P900, I not only have one, I have two. I'll bring both of them with me so that I can see these observations for myself, and then post a comparison video on my channel to the videos that you've been posting, and show that, to the surprise of absolutely nobody, I'm seeing the exact same thing. Videos are not hoaxes. They are, in fact, confirmed. They've been peer-reviewed. And also, thanks to the wonderful work that Kara has produced, actually modeling it on a sphere that has the radius of the actual Earth, we see that it comports to exactly what we would expect on an Earth the size that it actually is. So therefore, it leads to more butthurt, more tears, and I love the taste of flat earther tears. Oh, it's great, so fucking good.
Just ask Grandpa about it. So yeah, I mean, we can make it. We can make something happen. Tuesday and Wednesday.
All right. So
that would suck.
Basically, the work is this. The word is this. I can't next week. On Tuesday and Wednesday, I'm actually flying back over to Queens. But the week after that, and basically any number of weeks after that, I can be free on any Tuesday or Wednesday that you are. So basically, you tell me which Tuesday and Wednesday of which week would work for you, and I'll drive my happy ass to Lake Pontchartrain. We'll do our observations. I'll drive my happy ass back, and I'll process the footage on my free time.
Okay. Well, we can talk about it.
Sweet.
Yeah. I don't know. I'll have to figure that out. Tuesdays and Wednesdays are like prime work days for me. So.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. See, another thing that I could do is that I can go ahead and try for a weekend. Although I may have to spend PTO, and I don't know which weekend they're actually going to approve. So you would actually have to kind of work on my schedule if it's going to be on a weekend.
Yeah, yeah, we can talk about it privately. It'd be better.
All right, perfect. We'll talk about it later. But anyway, I really don't want to watch Antonio's video because I quite frankly can't stand that guy's voice. But what exactly is he bitching about this time?
It's fucking weird, isn't it?
He shows this piece of well, Dandy actually broke it down. His video is really good. You should go watch it. He kind of there's there's no sound, but he has a lot of annotations and breaks down like where this location is, matches it up with Google Street View. Basically, this is a North Shore marine span, and I think it's the first marine span on the North Shore.
It is.
That's what it looks like, right, Dan? Yeah.
Yep.
So the thing about that is that the marine span is 4 miles out. I have to look it up, but there's a nice little website for the causeway that shows you like where all the marine spans are, how far they are. You can also look at it on Google Earth. But the point is that he saw this little elevation of the highway. Am I still presenting? He saw this little elevation of the highway right here, and the causeway was turning or curving because he can't understand three-dimensional objects. So.
Oh, so there is no curve in it then?
No. Not
if you believe
right there.
I thought he might be. I thought he might be really close to like the north end or something where it might turn in a bit or something as it touches.
It does.
Down.
It does turn in a bit, Nathan. But it's further ahead than.
I get
excuse me. It's further north than the first crossover. So what he's seeing right there is further south, obviously, because you see the first crossover in that footage, and it has already straightened out. Those bridges have already straightened out. So in that shot, you cannot see where it's bending or curving or changing directions. That's not what's going on. And we don't really have any, as far as I know, Soundly doesn't have any shots from this particular point except for like the, which would it be? It would be west, the northwest,
I have one shot
and looking south.
Yeah, I have one shot I take from right around here, but mostly for my own gratitude. I mean, my own satisfaction. You know, that's not really what I present whenever I present the causeway.
Well,
but anyway, if you look at from the North Shore, if you look at it, it does expand out a little bit until it gets to this first crossover right here.
Mm-hmm.
And then
but it doesn't expand anymore after that.
Right, it's just straight as an arrow all the way across for 20-something miles.
Mm-hmm.
And you can draw little lines on there if you want to. I've done that. I've put it in videos. It's like every time I answer all the objections, there's another round of it where I have to answer all the same exact objections again because they're all constantly repeating ad nauseum.
My question is, the last time you went in and to, basically air some grievances on any of the pieces of evidence you've shown, they went ahead and manipulated your evidence to make it seem like you were lying. So
are you talking about the eclipse?
Yeah, I'm talking about the eclipse thing. I understand it's separate, but I'm starting to see a pattern here where every time you go out of your way to actually answer these fuckheads' objections, they attempt to screw you over in some way, shape, or form.
Right.
Yes.
Yep. That's what they do. They're looking
shows.
They're looking. What they're doing is they're looking for, some misspeak or some semantics, that they can argue about instead of truth. Like they want to take words and twist them instead of actually talking about what the actual intentions are, what the actual communication means, because they know they're freaking done. I mean, that's the whole thing. They know they're thrashed, and so they're butthurt, and they want to get back at me or whatever it is. I don't know what it is.
Well, it's because of the question that you rammed up their ass. It was the question, "Show me water curving," and you basically just said, "Okay, here," and that's when the implosion happened. Yeah.
So I mean, anyway, with this whole thing today with Antonio, like the causeway, just go take your rulers out, see where the causeway turns, because it does. There's a little turn on both ends where the bridges separate from each other, but then past those turns, for first of all, that highway right there is straight. This piece of highway right here is straight
Mm.
until the turn. And then at the turn, it basically is straight for another 20 miles at the same width, the whole causeway. And the whole thing is that my video of this lane right here, the curvature that I'm actually presenting is, it starts 4 miles out, right? And that's way past. So, you know, they're basically going to pieces of the causeway that I'm not looking at, and they're trying to find something wrong with it. And even when the thing that they try and find something wrong, like Antonio today, he's trying to say that it turns. It doesn't turn. It just rises.
They're actually putting words in your mouth, you know, when you think about it, because they're saying you know, they're representing something that they've put on YouTube as your evidence, like this is your assertion, when we're actually filmed that side of the causeway, I believe. You know, it's kind of sad that they actually have to do some dishonest shit like that, but then again, I'm not really surprised.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me in the least.
Yeah.
I've gotten used to it.
Well, there's a second part to this that I forgot to mention, because when the Florida Keys are kind of not underwater anymore, I plan on going down there and doing some more observation myself, because, you know, I don't know who said it, but one person said that we should see this kind of observation from multiple locations, and I fully agree. Thus, you know, indicating that this isn't something local, this is something all over the fucking planet, because the Earth is round. So
right,
the Earth's roundness isn't restricted to Lake Pontchartrain. I can go to, you know, I demonstrated the curvature with my ship over the horizon video, and that led to a shitload of butthurt. And I don't know. I'm kind of addicted to flat Earth butthurt. It's not healthy at this point. I think I have a problem, guys.
Yeah, well, I don't know what to recommend for that.
Nathan's addicted to pylons.
Yeah, that's my thing. Well, I mean, I quite like shouting at flat earthers in comment sections.
I mean, is there a pill you can take? Is there a therapist I can talk to? Because I don't think this is healthy.
I do find the idea of defeating them to be entirely inconsequential to why I'm here. Really, it doesn't. I don't have any idea about convincing flat earthers that they're wrong.
Oh, there's no chance. I mean, there's no chance you're going to convince any flat earthers. That's not the point, though, is it?
My challenge is how many times can I be bothered to tell them the same thing?
It's not about convincing them. It's about preventing people from their lives by becoming part of the cult. You know,
I guess
like the people that
has
are
a healthy
actually
side effect. That a few people who are a little bit more gullible than the average bear can get pulled back from this conspiratorial nonsense if they actually.
I did see something terrible recently. Flat Earth teenager or Flat Earth teen. Some 13-year-old girl has opened up her channel. Her parents are both flat earthers. She wants to tell the world that it's flat. She's 13.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Those people are ruining their lives.
That was really horrible. Really horrible.
Yeah, that's child abuse.
It is. It is. And I reported it as such twice on YouTube, but Google still hasn't done anything. Fucking cunts.
You know, I've always said, like, I hope I never get cursed with any little bastards of my own, but if I do, oh my god, they're if they don't do good in school, I'm gonna whip the shit out of them. I'll tell you that much. Oh, you got a C in science. All right, break out the belt.
Oh goodness, Nathan, this is that section right here. I've shown this in a number of videos, but
this is the turn.
Basically, this is the four. No, the turn's way back here.
All right.
This is. I'm looking from the South Shore. Like the video footage that I show, where you see like the curve from the South Shore. I'm shooting from up in this area.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm shooting from this levee right here for some of my best shots. And because the P900 zooming in way the hell down here. So like you see like back here a little ways, but the part that I always point out.
You've stopped presenting.
Have I?
No, you're back.
I can still see you.
Of course, there's a lag on YouTube, but anyhow, go on. Good.
The portion that I always point out is right here. There's a 4-mile marine hump, and that's the first hump you see. And then from that to the 8-mile right here.
Yep.
This red line is, I mean, straight as an arrow. You know, like the highway is straight.
Yes. Between
those two. And the lower section is all the same height. That's it's a 15-foot clearance per the causeway people, the people that maintain the causeway. So that's as straight as an arrow from the 4-mile marker to the 8-mile marker. But in my photography, that is curving over the horizon. And it's like plain as day, clear to see, curve over the horizon. So,
well, it's only clear and obvious to people who don't have their head up their ass.
Well, it's clear and obvious that it's curving. If they want to talk about
why
alternative theories for why it's curving, yeah. If they want to talk about alternative theories for why it's curving, you know what? I would be happy to entertain those thoughts. But when people say it's not curving and it's CGI and all this other bullshit, that's just that they're throwing out there to try and slow people down, basically, from getting to the truth.
Yeah.
Because the reality is it's plain to see for anybody that's willing to just simply walk to this location with their P900 right here, walk here with your tripod and your P900 and point that direction at the 8-mile marine span, and guess what you're going to see? The curvature of the damn earth. Do it.
You want to know what's weird? What's weird is that the P900 is the flat earther camera of choice, and yet when you show them footage from that P900, I mean, for example, like all my rocket launch footages and pictures and videos showing the curving water, they all of a sudden claim that those images are CGI. Yeah, it's the flat earthers that told us to get the damn cameras to begin with. And so you do what the flat earthers say, and they reply back with, it's CGI. Wait a minute, this is from the camera that you told me to get, jackass. What gives? Oh, I don't believe you because boo.
Uh-huh.
I mean, there's such a level of clear dishonesty here, intellectual dishonesty, I mean, that
absolutely
it's kind of sad. It's kind of sad and pathetic. I mean, it's so obvious that you would think that they would even realize it, but I guess the mental blocks that they have in place are just really, really tough.
Wolfie's sister, or maybe sister-in-law, is a psychologist, and she's seen some of his channel and the comments that are in there, and she says they're a weird bunch. And I was trying to persuade him to get her to give a more extensive and professional opinion, because I think that would be interesting to hear from someone who actually has some idea of what these people might be suffering from.
You would need to study them for a long time. Hey, Soundly, are you using the cursor right there? Is that you?
Who, me?
Yeah, you're zooming around, moving around, right? On the causeways?
Yeah, I was.
Oh, okay.
Is it lagging or something?
Yeah, it must be lagging. I'm looking at the YouTube.
Oh, you're looking at the YouTube.
Oh,
you're looking at the YouTube. So I've been convinced for a long time now that there's probably some PhD psychology post-grad, that started this whole thing.
Mm.
He started it as a research project,
Got out of control.
and it got out of control. It turned into a mind virus. And if you're still out there and you haven't gotten your PhD yet and haven't done your dissertation yet, and you're listening to this right now, I fully expect an invite. So I would like to be there.
So, by the way, they're building a third causeway right here. If you didn't know that. On the
They
No, I
are
didn't know that.
there. Who? They're building a third causeway over Lake Pontchartrain.
Yes.
Blimey, that's overkill.
No, it's not. The traffic is
No, it's not
ridiculous.
because, yeah.
Do you know where it's going from exactly?
At the exact same spot. There'll be 3 in a line.
Oh, right. Okay. So an extra lane, as it were. No.
Yep.
Well, 2 lanes. Oh, okay. Cool. Well, documenting
Well, how's
that
that
it's
gonna work?
built would be cool.
Are they going to have contraflow like after work or something?
Okay, so the center lane, which will be the newest bridge, which is on the east side. The east side is the newer bridge. It's like 15 years newer than the oldest one. The oldest one was built in the 50s.
Yeah.
So the newer one will be the center lane. They're going to add an extension onto the causeway that was built in the 50s, which is the one to the west, which will basically include a pullover lane, a shoulder, because there's no shoulder on that bridge. The center lane is going to be the new bridge that you see right now, and then the newest bridge that they're going to build is going to be east of what I call the new bridge. The new bridge being the one to the east right now. The right lane. If you're looking north to south, the right lane. And that one is going to be, it's going to toggle between southbound and northbound traffic, depending on what time of day.
That's crazy. Yep, you're going to do contraflow.
Yep. So that's, I kind of want to be there when they're building it,
Yes, it would be worth documenting, I think.
Right. I'm sure it's going to be documented already, but I learned a lot about these bridges.
Not as well as you can do it, I'm sure.
Well, straight away, I knew which way that homeboy was looking. Antonio, when he was presenting his stuff.
That's the best thing about us being here, dude.
I knew straight away that he was looking at the causeways, because I know about the construction. So I know that.
Yeah, I wasn't convinced. I wasn't convinced at first, but you convinced me, Dandy.
Yeah. It's.
At first, I was like, this can't be the causeway.
Right. Well,
but
there's certain things. If you zoom down, just zoom down right now. Just zoom down onto any portion right now of the causeway itself, both lanes, as far as you can without going into street view.
That's about it.
Look at the right
lane.
Seen it or what? Yep. Look how much longer the sections of the right lane are.
Oh, right. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yep. That's the new bridge. They're longer because they have 3 piles underneath each end section. So there's 6 per section, whereas the old bridge only has 4 per section. And the people who built the bridge call them piles. I know pylons is correct too, but that's why I keep calling them piles, because the people who built it call them piles.
It's a bit confusing because I always think of the transmission line as pylons. That's certainly
Well, think of a pile driver.
Yes.
That's what they're driving down into the soil. It's sand. There's nothing down there. There's no bedrock. They're not putting those into rock. It's just sand. They're driving all those piles into the sand, and they created those on a centrifuge. So they spun them. So the piles they push the
Hollow.
They push the rebar together.
Yeah, I have a picture.
But
I have a picture of those hollow piles. Remember from the North Shore?
Yep. Exactly. They're ready to go as soon as something tears them up. They built those extra pieces ready to put in place. That's why they're there. You're like, why the hell is that sitting there?
Yeah, so we can probably see that on here.
They built.
Anyway, this hangout has gone way longer than I expected it to. Here, look, here they are right here. Dandy.
Yep. Yeah,
that's the pylons.
Those are sections of bridge.
Yeah,
they're just
extra
ready.
parts.
Those are spare parts. That's it.
Yeah.
Ready to be put into place. If a big asshole boat busts into the bridge.
Anyway, I invite. I've done this before, and I'll do it again. I invite flat earthers to go with me to any of these locations. I mean, I've already doxed myself a number of times. It's not like they don't know who I am anyway. So, I'm not like Red. I haven't been able to keep myself completely anonymous, like Red was able to. But
I can teach you the way.
Teach me, old sensei.
Anonymity for wimps.
Says Nathan Grant, a completely anonymous name.
There's only one of them, I'll tell you.
My name is, first off, you have to get yourself a fake name. Ball.
Oh, we lost him.
You died out there after Ball.
To I don't know, just stay off camera, and that seems to piss off a bunch of people. So that's a healthy side effect.
If you don't show your face, then all your evidence is crap.
Yeah, because it's not like the evidence I present has its own merits it can run off. No, absolutely not.
Dude, your rocket launches are freaking awesome. And that last one that you did, or not, you think you and Astronomy Live went together, and he did that one where he tracked the first stage the whole way. Man, that's amazing.
Yeah, right. And guess what? You want to know what's else? Filmed on the Nikon P900, and I know that a little bit more.
Nice.
It's epic, and don't worry, Stanley. I got a dedicated launch for you in the future. Although I'm saving yours for a special launch that's coming up.
Yeah, sweet.
So
what is the heavy?
No, you'll just have to wait and find out. I ain't telling you. That's not how surprises work.
When's the heavy going to launch, man? I thought it was supposed to launch during the summer. What happened to that?
It's been postponed till November, and the reason why is because they had to come to the conclusion that it's probably going to blow up.
Oh, they thought it would, so they postponed it. So
no. It's not that they thought they would. They kind of know it is pretty much a guarantee it's going to blow up.
They're expecting.
Oh, they think their first heavy launch is going to blow up.
Yeah, in fact, Elon Musk said, I fully expect it to actually blow up, as in kablooey, as in it's going to lift off and then it's going to blow up.
I'm not sure how. I don't know. I think maybe he was perhaps being a bit hyperbolic.
What did the vendors have to say about that?
Well, the reason why they think it's going to blow up is because If you look at the Delta IV Heavy, you have 3 engines that you have to fire off, simultaneously, so that the damn thing goes straight. With the Falcon Heavy, you have 27 engines that all need to do that, and that is vastly more complicated, and they've never done that before. And so basically, because they've never done that before, they're expecting to run into a hiccup with balance. And if the balance becomes too extreme, stresses will basically reach their critical level, and then the whole thing will essentially blow up.
You saw their video they released just recently where it was all their failures in one video.
I saw that.
SpaceX. Red.
Yeah, I saw one that they posted of the Dragon splashing down, then the newest video where it shows how the Falcon Heavy is supposed to lift off and land. Basically, the center's not actually supposed to come back and land at the Space Center. The 2 side boosters are to do a boost back maneuver, which will land at LZ1 and LZ2, but the center stage will actually land on the drone ship and then be brought back to the Space Center.
So let me ask you this: are LZ1 and LZ2 within camera shot of each other?
Oh yeah, the landing that I filmed is LZ1. LZ2 is going to be right next door to that, so they're within, like, I don't know, 300, 400 feet of each other.
Wow, that's going to be an amazing video.
Yeah, so basically, if you wanted to, shoot by down here, I'll show you the exact spot that myself and Astronomy Live go. And it's great because as soon as it lands, it's like clockwork. Right after it lands, you get the triple sonic boom, and it is amazing. You feel it in your heart.
Hey, Red.
Definitely want to do that.
Are you the one who filmed the? Were you involved with filming it from a 12-inch?
I was involved in that. Yeah, that was Astronomy Live.
I saw that randomly. I didn't even know who you were or who that guy was. It was suggested in my videos, and I watched that. Thought that was really cool.
Yep. Mine is called CHL's launch, or it's basically dedicated Cool Hard Logic. And on that one, I do hand tracking. All my rocket launch videos are hand tracked. And I did lose it, I think, maybe twice during the entire time that I was actually filming it. But you got to understand, filming it on that tiny of a screen gets really difficult. And Nikon thought it was a good idea to not allow me to plug in an external monitor so I can track the damn thing more efficiently. But whatever. I managed to track it fairly well, I think. And it definitely demonstrates that it does go up, it does come back down, the landing is not fake, is not CGI, actually fucking happened, and that everyone who said that it was CGI definitely has demonstrated that they don't know what is real and what isn't.
I don't think they know what CGI said it was reversed.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
The flat earthers who were saying it was reversed footage.
Yeah, they said it was reverse footage. They gave a whole bunch of explanations for it, but none of them actually, hold up under scrutiny. I even invited some of them to come into my Hangout and go over everything, frame by frame, step by step, and tell me where they see fakery. And one of these people was by the name of Sparkismo, and basically he had me, play the video back, go slow motion, do this, do that. And it basically all came down to, well, I just don't believe it. Oh, so nothing about my video is actually screaming out fakery. You just pulled that assertion out of your ass because it makes you sleep better at night. Okay, at least now we know the truth.